What's up guys, welcome to the channel, and in today's video we are going to talk about what is string slices and the functions that are associated with strings. So let's get started. I'll open my PyCharm ID here, and as you can see it has opened really quickly. I'll make a new Python file and name it as string slices, and even if you don't write .py at the end of your file name, the PyCharm ID will detect it is a Python file and it will automatically write a .py after your file name. After this, I'll make a variable mystr and I'll type in Ansh is a good boy. After I've made a variable, I'll print the mystr, and it's really simple because it will print out that Ansh is a really good boy, that I am. And after this, if I print the type of mystr, yes, you guys guessed it correct, it is a string. If I zoom it, as you can see, it is a string. After this, I'll show you what is string slicing. If I print out my str and if I put square brackets and then 0 to 30, and if I right click on it and run it, as you can see it has printed Ansh is a good boy. But you will ask that what is this 0 and what is this 30? That is string slicing. String slicing takes your number, your index number as your first parameter here, and then it takes your last parameter, your last index that you want to print to. So the string that will be printed will go from the 0th index to the 30th index. Here, as you can see, if I count the length of the string, we in programming in Python, we usually count the string from 0. So the first letter is the 0th index, the 0 index. So A will be 0, N will be 1, S 3, H 5, and the space 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So these are 19. So this is the 19. The length of the string is 19. So if I print 0 to 19, if I run this program, as you can see, it is printing good boy. Now if I count it back again, because I think so I've made a mistake here, so it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so the length of the string is 17, and if I put in 17 here and then if I run this, as you can see it has only printed Ansh is a good boy. It has not printed the Y at the end. Why does that happen? It happens because the my str goes from 0 to 16. It neglects the 17 and it goes up to 16. It does not go to the 17, and that's how the the string slicing works. It goes from the number you have specified here, and it goes to the number before you have specified here, just one before it. So for example, if I type in 16 instead of 17, it will go to good B. It will neglect this O and Y because it will only go from 0 to 15. It won't go up to 16. If I run this for you, as you can see, it has only printed Ansh is a good B. Now if I print 3 to 18, what does that mean? The slicing will start from the third index, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. It will start from H and then it will go up to 17. It won't go up to 18 as we talked earlier. It will go up to 17. That means that it will go up to Y, that is the string length. So if I run this program, as you can see, H is a good boy. It has started from the third index up to the last index. But if you don't want to count the number of index, for example, as we counted that the length of the string is 17 and you want to print it till 18. So if you don't want to count, you can just put this as a blank here. So the Python interpreter in default will take this as the last element. If you put a blank here, it will take the last element as a default. And if I run this program, as you can see, H is a good boy. And if I put a blank instead of the 3, the Python interpreter will take the first element as a default. So it will take the 0th index as a default. It will take 0 here. If I run this program, it will print out Ansh is a good boy. As you can see, it prints out Ansh is a good boy. Now I'll move on to some advanced concepts of string slicing. But before that, let me just visualize you how the string slicing works by opening my Paint 3D. I'll write the text that I wrote before. Ansh is a good boy. And after this, taking my pen, I'll write the index here. So the index in Python goes like this. It will start from 0 and then 1, 2, 3, and then the space, that is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17, as we counted it earlier before. So when we write my str, that is the variable 0 to, for example, 12, then it will take its first index as 0. It will start from here and it will end at 11. That is, it will take 12 minus 1, that is 11. This is a short formula that you can write. For example, if we take the last element as n, then the Python interpreter will go up from the first index to the n minus 1 index. So it will be like this. It will be from 0 to n minus 1. That is, in this case, it will be 0 to 11. That is, it will print Ansh is a goo. Ansh is a goo. It will neglect the OD and BO. So that's how the string slicing works. And now I'll move on to the advanced slicing concepts where we'll put another colon here. So let's go to the PyCharm IDE. And as we know that the Python interpreter takes the first element here as default if we put a blank, and the last element here as a default if we put a blank here as well. But now I'll put in some numbers, for example 3 and 12, and if I type 1, if I run this program, it will print out H is a goo because this is the third index, and O, this one O, it is the 12th index, so it will print up to 11. That is, Ansh is a goo. But if instead of the 1 I type in 2, it will neglect every one digit after it has taken 1. For example, the third index is 3, so it will neglect this space, and after that it will take in 1, it will neglect this S, and after that it will take in this space, neglect this A, take in this space, and then neglect this G and take in this O. If I run this program, as you can see, it has taken H, neglected this space, I, neglect, space, neglect, space, neglect, and then taken this O at last. That means that if you put 2 here, it neglects one letter after it has taken. Going to print 3D, if I erase this, and I'll take this the same example. So as you can see, we have written down the index here, and in the PyCharm IDE, we wrote my str from 3 to, what was it? Was from 3 to 12. So from 3 to 12, that means it will go from 3 to n minus 1, where 12 is the n. So it will go from 3 to 11. That is from year to year. It will print H is a goo. And after that, I put in another semicolon and I wrote 2. Now, here's a quick another quick formula which you can write. If we take 2 as x, so the number of spaces or the number of neglects will be equal to x is equal to 1. Let me write that down by typing it for you. If I take out my text tool, if I write number of neglects, and you can write this down if you want to. It will be x minus 1. That is, in this case, x is equal to 2. So I hope this is visible. So in this case, the number of neglects will be x minus 1, that is 2 minus 1. That will be the number of neglects is equal to 1. So it will ignore one letter from here. It will ignore one letter from here. That is, it will cut down this space. It will cut down this S, this A, this G, and it will take in the O. So if I write this H, the result right here. So it will be H and then I and a space, another space, and then O. So it will be HIOO. If I go back to my PyCharm ID, as you can see, it is HI space space and O. So that's how string slicing works at an advanced level. Okay, so for example, if I write down 3 here and if I try to print it, as you can see, it has only printed HS. As you can see in the PyCharm ID, we wrote mystr is equal to, we printed mystr 3, 12, and in this case we wrote 3 after the semicolon after the last index. So as we saw in the formula, we will take 3 as x and the number of neglects as x minus 1. So the number of neglects will be 2. As you can see, the number of neglects are 2. We will take the first digit as 3, as the first index says, and then we'll go up to 11 because it is 12. So as you can see, we will neglect 2, so we will take in h, and then we will neglect this blank space and I, and then we'll take in s, and then we'll neglect this blank space and a, and then we'll take this space, and then we'll neglect g and o. That means we'll get h and s. And as you can see in the PyCharm ID, we got the same. So that's how string slicing works. And if you want to know the length of your string, there's a function for it, len_str. You can print the length of the string. So if I run this program, as you can see, the length of my string is 18. So I have to print up to 19 so to get that 18th index. As you can see, the length of our string is 18 and we got that using this len function. But are there any more functions for the string data type? Yes, we can type in mystring.isAlmSelf, and this will give a true or false. That is a boolean data type that we talked in the previous video about data types. Boolean, that gives out true and false. So isAlm shows that if any string contains spaces, it will give out false, and if it does not contain spaces, it will give out to be true. If I run this, as you can see, I haven't printed the result, so I'll have to print the mystr.alm, and as you can see, it shows that it is false because it contains spaces. So if I remove these spaces and if I run this program, it will print out that it is a true variable. So we have another functions for strings, and you can type in mystr.capitalize, and if I print this, it will capitalize the first letter in the string, that is A. For example, if I wrote small a here and I'll comment this out, and if I run this program, as you can see, it has capitalized the first letter A, whereas in this the letter is in lowercase. If I print mystr dot lower, and if I write B as capital and G as capital, if I run this program, as you can see, the mystr.lower has printed out everything in the lowercase, that is G in capital and B in capital as well. So if I print in another function, that is mystr.upper, as you can see, it has printed everything in the uppercase. We'll talk about some string slicing with negative integers. So if I print my str and 3, that is h, 2 minus 1. When you put in negative numbers in the square bracket, it starts counting from the backwards. So y will be minus 1, 0, O will be minus 2, and B will be minus 3. In this case, as you can see, n is minus 1, that is the last index. So it will print till n minus 1, that is minus 2. So the string slicing will go from 3 to minus 2, that is from H to O, the BO. If I run this program, as you can see, it has printed H is a good bow. Similarly, if I put empty blanks here, and as you know that this is 0 and this is the last element, and if I put in minus 1 here, and if I print this, as you can see, it has printed the whole string in reverse. That means that it has printed from y to unch in reverse order. So that's how the negative integers play a role. And if I try to experiment it with it, so I'll try minus 3 to minus 1. So minus 3 in this case is B, and it will print up to minus 2 because n is minus 1 in this case. So it will print BO. And if I run this program, as you can see, it has printed BO. So that's how minus integers are used in string slicing. And for more functions, if you want to go and explore more functions, you can go on the net and just type in string functions in Python. After that, go to this w3schools.com website. It is a really good and trusted website. As you can see, we've discussed about capitalized, then find format is there, then lower, and then we have discussed about len. And I want to really discuss about this count function. So I'll go back to my PyCharm IDE, and then I'll print my str dot count, and then I'll write a. This function counts all the a strings. For example, I have an a here and I have an a here, so it counts the number of a's that are in the string. If I type in o, that means that it will come out to be 3 because there are 3 o's in the string, as you can see. And I'll show you another function, that is my str.replace. We can replace anything inside the string with something that you write here. For example, if I want to replace good with very good, it will replace the good in this string with very good. So if I run this program, as you can see, Ansh is a very good boy. So that's how you can explore some functions. As you can see, there are so many functions. You can explore it yourself, and they have also given some descriptions. And if you click on a function, as you can see, they have explained the function here as well. So this was all for today's video. Thank you for watching it, and I'll see you next time.